Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing MHB in the 5-minute pool on ICC. MHB is 2251, and we are in a 5-minute game, a little bit slower. Just checking out his stats right now. He plays the modern. Obviously, this has lots of transpositional potential. Let's pre-move this if he wants to go into it. Okay, so we get the notoriously chaotic, maybe, is a good adjective. Dzindzi-Indian. I'm playing a gambit variation against it. He plays knight f6. Do I take the pawn right away? I should know this because I play this occasionally for black. But I always have trouble. Let's just take it right away. So he could go queen a5. But I think queen a5, I'd probably just play knight f3 and continue developing. If he takes c3, bishop d2. I'm just going to try to play actively and keep the pressure on. MHB has some good stats. He has a peak 5-minute rating of 25-17. Looks like a veteran of the 5-minute pool. He's got over 5,000 games played on here. Yeah, so against this I was thinking just knight f3. Just develop. He can take on e4. But maybe it's fine for us, like just queen c2. Yeah, I think this is all right. Because if he plays queen takes c3, we can trade queens, and then I have bishop b2. And disaster on the long diagonal for him. I'm not actually threatening to take the pawn or take the knight yet. So he does try to exploit that by moving here. Bishop b2 feels like something of a mistake to put the bishop there, but it's the most logical way to defend c3. I want to play bishop d3. That's the natural move. Bishop d3, queen takes, knight takes. Can I trap his knight? a4 maybe? Might be able to trap it. Let's try. And if knight takes c3, I have bishop d2. So at least gives him a lot to think about.
Check.
He's going for it. Okay, now a4. I gotta take away this flight square. I could also play bishop back to c2, but that doesn't seem as good. What about a4, knight a6? a4, knight a6 maybe. And then if bishop d2, he can go into b4. And those knights are a problem. Maybe bishop c2 is better. Bishop c2, he might play b5. All right, wildcard move. Bishop h6 attacking the rook. So if he plays rook f6, I have bishop g7. I was just thinking, like, his rook doesn't have a lot of good flight squares. You can go rook g8, maybe. Rook g8. h7 is weak, however. I mean, maybe I just ignore his knight on c3. That might be the best policy. He's totally underdeveloped. He probably should play rook g8. Yeah, maybe I ignore that knight. I can castle next move. If he plays rook g8. Doesn't really have a good move, rook move up the file. f4's covered, f5's covered, f6 runs into bishop g7. f7, I always have knight e5 or knight g5. Rook f5. Well, that's innovative. Okay, well, first, I think I probably want to attack this knight before taking his rook. I will take the rook, but I don't want to take yet because he can take with the pawn, and then he has the e4 square. I don't know. Even that looks pretty good. Like, take, castle. That looks good. Let's just do that. I'm going to keep it simple. Yeah, he has knight e4, but I can always go knight g5 if I want to exchange that. My long-standing goal in these Blitz games is just to keep it simple, you know? Like, not torture yourself with the details, because you really can't in these games. If you do that, you're in trouble. This seems like a good move. I'd like to attack his knight, but I'm not sure how. Maybe bishop g7. Bishop g7. Idea if knight e4 I can take. Okay, let's do that. He can check on e2, but I have this. King f2, attacking his knight. I want to be able to take on b5 when he doesn't have knight takes d5 as a reply. He can play b4 here, but then I can just take on c3, rook c1 if necessary.
Check.
Again, his queen side is completely underdeveloped. Okay, I see what he's doing. Okay, he's doing that. Now d3 is covered. Okay, we're just going to take now. Not sure about my operation that I just went on with my last move. Okay, so he's going to have a nice pawn majority in the center, but the position is pretty complex all the same. I think he might have trouble getting this knight into the game. He might have to play a6 somewhere. I'm expecting bishop b7. So rook a d1, bishop b7. Let's go here first. Just maybe I can sneak in bishop d6. If he lets me. Bishop b7 would be indicated. Wow, he's actually allowing that. That loses a piece. Do I take first? Let's take here first. Does get a lot of pawns for it. Like you can take with a rook. Rook takes d5 and then take on b5. It's like this huge pawn center. But I am attacking c5. Oh, and I can take f5 too. Okay. Yeah, I can start knocking out his pawns. He blundered with a6. Yeah, I should have played bishop b7. Okay, and he resigned. Short but bizarre game. Let's go back and have a look. So in this position, you've seen me play this from the black side on my channel. And I've ran into lots of different moves. Like e4, I think, is actually a pretty good move for white because it avoids the Dzindzi-Indian. It kind of asks black to declare their intentions. Like, are they going to play d6 and maybe make it a King's Indian? Or are they going to play c5 and maybe allow like a Benoni position? Black soon has to decide. They could play knight c6 as possible. But I just stuck with knight c3. Probably the most consistent move for a d4 player. But then we get this interesting pawn structure where black has parted with their typically strong dark square bishop, but after f5, if white plays routine moves, black often achieves a good position. So, for instance, black will play like knight f6, queen a5, d6, knight d7, knight b6, bishop d7, and then castle long, with pressure against c4 and c3. So, experience has shown that white does best to try to open the position up right away and capitalize on black's pretty dodgy pawn structure and lack of development. So hence e4. h4 is also a main line, trying to go h5. I'm going to turn the engine on right away because there's going to be some tactical nuances that I'm not aware of. I just knew that this is like one of the best ways to play, but to be quite frank, I've never studied this line in any great detail from the black side other than just knowing like the basic setups. So hence, whenever white's played a gambit continuation against me from the black side of the Dzindzi-Indian, I have trouble because I just don't know the details. So here, like I would really hate to have to play a move like, you know, bishop b2 or bishop d2. Like these moves are so lame just to defend the c3 pawn. I think it's actually better for white a lot of times if black ends up taking on c3 because it opens lines. So hence knight f3, hoping for queen takes c3, bishop d2 with excellent development. So he took on e4, I played queen c2. So the tactical justification for this move is that if queen takes and then knight takes, I have bishop b2 skewering the knight to the rook. So black loses a piece. And if knight takes c3, we have bishop d2. pinning them. Also wins a piece. So he went rook f8. Yeah, maybe bishop h6 right away. What did I do? Bishop d3? Engine also likes this move too. Okay. Bishop d3,
Check.
queen takes, knight takes. Yeah, and I was figuring out ways to try to trap this knight, because I noticed that the knight can only escape through a4. Like, if we attack it, it can only escape through a4 at the moment, right? So I thought, maybe we should play a4. It's guarded by a rook, looks good. But he has this move, and if I go and attack the knight next move, I have rook a3. But I was thinking that if I go attack the knight, then knight b4 is a nice counterstroke, attacking my bishop, and these knights are going to help each other out. Black's going to survive. Mainly because if this bishop moves like back to f1, there's knight c2 check. I guess there's even, this if necessary. But I didn't see that a4, knight a6 could maybe be met by rook a3. That's a hard move to envision because the pawn was on a2 previously when we were calculating this. But then the point is that if knight b4, I can just take. So maybe I do win a piece, but I guess he gets a third pawn, and it's better for white with the two bishops, but it's a game. Well, all in all, it seems like this double pawn sacrifice was sound. And here I think he should play rook g8, or at least I thought he should. But maybe I have this a4 move once again. Yeah, I do, because now if knight a6, I could even play king d2. My bishop is no longer occupying that d2 square. And this knight is in trouble. Maybe he calculated that. Maybe that's why he didn't play rook g8. So he went rook f5 instead. I just took. I thought for about 30 seconds and took. Yeah, maybe I should have gone king here. I guess I was expecting them to do that, but that's kind of silly because I can just take on f5. And I stand to win an entire rook. He'll have several pawns for it, but again, probably not enough. Definitely not enough. Okay, so bishop takes f5. Looks like I'd played very well up to this point, but bishop takes f5 wasn't quite so accurate. Now I castled. b5 was a nice tactical reply, because they got to get some play on the queen side. They got to open these up. b5 is a swift way to get the bishop involved. The knight isn't probably going to be making itself felt. The queen side knight, that is, will not make itself felt for a little bit. It can only go to a6. And I could even play a3 if I want to restrict it. But b5 is a good way to try to knock out these pawns, and he's hoping for a scenario like that, which kind of occurred in the game. So I played bishop g7.
Check.
I didn't see this maneuver, though, the knight coming to f4, attacking this again, and threatening knight d3 and taking on c4. Yeah, now I'm not sure who's better, because material-wise, it's dead equal. This is the material count right here. I should actually make you guys actually count the material along with myself, but sometimes I cheat and just look at the material count. So it's dead even on material, but white maintains a slim lead in development, which might be why the computer likes my position a bit. But I'm worried about these pawns. Like, black's got a lot of pawns. If they get going and my play grinds to a halt, I could easily see black taking over the game. King e7, I didn't like that. I thought he was going to play bishop b7 or maybe a6 to try to get rid of this pawn and maybe get the knight to c6 after the pawn is captured. So they started going astray here. King e7 here, and then they just overlooked my tactical point. Yeah, they should have played probably like bishop b7, guarding the knight. So if bishop takes b8, rook takes b8, there's no tactic here. He can take with his bishop. But as it happened, he played a6, and I was just debating between rook takes d5 right away or bishop takes b8. And I have a minute 19. I shouldn't spend that much time debating between the two, so I just did it. And fortunately for me, he resigned. Like, I actually thought like maybe something like this could be like mildly troubling again because of all these pawns. But I can play rook takes f5. It's not enough for him. Okay, well, now I at least know that this is a good line to play against the Dzindzi-Indian, and it clarified some of the tactical points in my mind. Might be interesting to look up the theory in this line, but it's good to know that white can develop without worrying too much about the e and c pawns, and tactics like, the bishop b2 move if black captures twice on c3 are in white's favor. So it justifies white's play. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I'll be back tomorrow with another Blitz game. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.